Hi, I'm Keith Cooper from Northlight Images, and as you can see I've got a load of prints. Question I'm often asked is, which is the best paper? Which paper should I use? Well, anyway, here I'm going to go through some of the choices I think are worth considering if you're relatively new to printing about picking papers, because there is a vast amount of papers out there and it's sometimes quite difficult to actually choose which is worthwhile getting. One consideration I should mention before any of this is that if you're printing from an uncalibrated, unprofiled monitor, then your chances of getting good quality colour and black and white are reduced. So I would always suggest getting a monitor profiler. Now, I use one like this i1 Display Pro. There are plenty about, and there are articles about using them and all the different types on the Northlight Images website if you're interested. But getting your monitor right beforehand is a key first step in getting good quality prints. As well as getting your monitor right, you need to consider colour management for your printing. And there are several aspects of that. One is printer ICC profiles. Now these are created by scanning a piece of print like this and creating what's called a profile. I always suggest to people, when you're new to printing, get OEM papers, and by OEM I mean original equipment manufacturer. So for a new Canon printer such as this Pro 300, try some Canon papers. For an Epson printer, try some Epson papers. Not because they're inherently better, but because they will have been tested with the printer. Profiles are available for free when you download things, and it's a consistent way of getting started. The whole thing about improving your printing is consistency, is using things such as profiling your monitor, colour management to try and remove sources of error. That then makes how your prints come out much less of a surprise, so it becomes a predictable process. Another key element in making printing predictable is the use of test images. Now I've got loads of these on the Northlight Images website. They're available for free for download for non-commercial use. This is a bespoke black and white test image, and if you're doing black and white printing, getting this right to start with will improve the reliability of your black and white printing. Likewise, this is a colour test image. This is on two different papers. Thicker sharp paper, a slightly thinner matte brighter white paper. The whole idea about using images like this is that these particular elements in the picture have been specially created to show up print problems. In essence, if you can't print a good version of one of these, then what hope have you for your own photos? The other thing is that you've got no emotional attachment to any of these images. There's no feeling of, I know what that was right. I remember what this sunset really looked like, or I know what these colours should look like. That's irrelevant at this point. What we're trying to do is perfect the actual process of printing. So by getting profiles, sorting out your colour management, and perfecting printing something like this before you even attempt to use your own pictures is a much more reliable way of going about things. I've recently reviewed this printer, for example, and the first prints I made were some profiling prints, some colour test prints, and some black and white test prints. If you can nail down the test prints, then it makes the rest of your printing much more likely to be accurate. If you know that your test prints are okay, and you print, let's say, a photo, and it comes out wrong, then you know it's not your printing setup, it's something you've done either in your photography or how you've edited the image that's caused the problem. It's not that. So test prints, original inks, original paper. Yeah, I know I mentioned third-party inks there. They are a false economy for many people, I regard. You're not looking at the proper costs of printing. Now, I'm not going to go through all the detail here in this video, it would be far too long. But I've written lots of articles about printing, all the different things about it, about using these test images and everything else. And I really would suggest that if you're interested in printing, have a read of the articles. I'm sorry they're a bit long, but that's because they're comprehensive. It's also one of the reasons I'm making these short videos, to try and sort of give a better idea of what I do. So, to answer that question, what paper should I use for my printing? Well, as I said, start off with maybe a couple of basic sorts. A luster paper, gloss if you like gloss, and an art paper of some sort. Once you've done quite a bit more printing, you should be able to appreciate the differences between prints. Use the test images, but after a while printing your own images, you should be able to work out which ones you like. Now, my own personal choices, and this is my 4 basic papers, are always a luster paper, good general purpose for colour and black and white. A heavier baryta style paper. Now this one is a warmer paper, but there are several different styles. They have a nice feel to them, they're good papers, they can be a bit expensive. So don't start with expensive papers like this. For matte papers, I like cotton rag papers. I like smooth papers, but you can find ones with a textured surface which may suit your images better. But there are 2 sorts here. There's a natural white and a bright white. So my 4 papers are, in essence, a luster paper, a baryta paper, and 2 art papers, and that's it. Now I've actually got hundreds of papers upstairs in our print room, and I frequently don't know which to use. Now, there's quite a lot I've used, so if you have a look at my Canon Pro 300 review, there's discussion of papers there. Similarly for the Epson P700 review I recently did, there's also a discussion of papers there. But there's also an article to go with this that there's a link to, which is about choosing papers, which has got lots more detail about the stuff I've covered in this brief talk here. So I hope that's been useful. If you have any questions, please do contact me at Northlight Images, and I hope you found this interesting and useful. Thank you.